mental health is, wow, it's a big part of who you are and what you can do. Because I've always said, if I hadn't been able to get through what I went through, I don't know what would have happened. I don't know. And I know, and we'll probably talk about this. People say, what do you mean you would kill yourself? You would have killed yourself? I never had thoughts that I would kill myself, but I had thoughts of, I can't live like this. And a wave, that's what I refer to it as, a wave of sadness, a wave of heavy just encompassed me out of nowhere. And I've never had this in my life. I don't know what this is, but I'm laying there, and I mean, from 1 second fine to the next minute, oh my God, what is happening to me? So then, of course, I go into a bit of a panic mode. My sister's a nurse. I get her on the phone. I said, I don't know what's going on. Here's what just happened. She goes, it sounds to me like it's your sugar. Not that I'm diabetic, but we have diabetes in the family. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm becoming diabetic. She goes, you need to get some orange juice, whatever. I said, okay, I can make that happen. Right next to where I live, there was a little market. I go in. It does nothing. Nothing does nothing. Well, now by, 1 o'clock, I have to leave around 1:15. I don't know what I'm going to do because I don't want to leave. I'm almost afraid to leave. Everything is awful. I've gone from everything is great hours earlier to everything is awful, and nothing has happened. Nothing other than I'm nervous about the meeting.
Right.
But I've been nervous about meetings before.
Yeah.
Every audition, you're nervous. It's the nature of the business. I go to that meeting, like I said, the greatest acting I've ever done because I came off really well, and I got that job. And they said I was their guy. So I come home that night. I call my sister again. She goes, you got to get to a doctor. So I go to a medical doctor, and they do it all because I told them what's going on. And he's checking all the blood work, and they did a chest x-ray and everything. And because it was getting worse. This was not... There was nothing, it wasn't getting better. Because I thought maybe the next day I'll wake up and everything will be okay. That was just some weird anomaly. And
next day I'm good.
Next day's good. That was a weird thing, and I'll tell a story about that. Was so weird. No, the next day was worse. And so I go to the doctors, at the time SAG doctors. They do all this tests, and that takes about a week to get everything back. And nothing is better. I remember every day I'd wake up, I'd put my feet on the floor, sit on the bed, and think, okay, how am I today? Fuck. Oh, fuck, it's still there. It was heavy. I could feel this. I could feel it. So anyway, he calls me in. The doctor goes, well, we're going to go over everything with you, and I'm waiting. He's going to tell me I've got some horrible something and whatever. And part of me wants him to,
so you know,
because now let's figure this shit out, and you give me what I need. And he goes over everything, and he goes, so what I'm basically saying is, you're fine. I said, I can't be. I said, I've told you what I've been through. I'm not fine. He goes, you're fine physically. He goes, you need to see a therapist. I got to tell you, Brenda, I'm embarrassed to say this. That never dawned on me. It never dawned on me. What are you talking about? I need to see a therapist. Okay, he can't help me. And again, this is, I was saying earlier, I kept thinking, I can't live like this. I can't. And now what's happening is, as I've learned the term later, panic attacks. So I went from this horrible sadness to hardcore flop sweating panic attacks, which at first you think you're a fat guy. I'm having a heart attack. So where am I? I'm back at the ER because I'm having a heart attack. Well, of course I wasn't.
Yeah.
But I learned all this as time went on. And, for me, a perfect day, and it still kind of is, a really wonderful day for me is wake up, have a nice breakfast, go to a movie. Like, I love movies. I could go to a movie. And I love, and I stream like everybody else, but I love a movie theater.
Yeah.
I still do. And I lived near Grauman's, Grauman's Chinese. So I'd be like, like on a good day, I'm just going to go and watch a fun movie at Grauman's, and I'm in Hollywood. I'm on Hollywood Boulevard. Oh my God, I'm living the dream, even though I'm not, I'd like to be on a series or something. But none of that cheered me up. The thought of it was disgusting. The thought of getting out, having to get up and go to that theater, couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. So I made an appointment with a therapist. And there's levels of therapy, which I learned all this, didn't know it at the time. So again, you'll know more of this than it. Who can't prescribe?
A psychiatrist can prescribe.
Right.
I don't know. I thought a psychologist could too, but there's also people that help them, like nurse practitioners in a mental health field that can't. Your primary care doctor can, but they're most times going to recommend you go talk to a therapist,
which is
or a
what
psychiatrist.
they did.
Yeah.
And so, but she couldn't recommend. She couldn't write a prescription. So I don't know what that's called.
Yeah.
But then she hooked me up with, because she said, I think you need to see this doctor. So I started going to her. And like everybody, I wanted a quick fix. Well, that wasn't to be.
Right.
There is no quick fix. As I've learned, there's chemical imbalances. There's all sorts of things that are going on. And one of the things she felt in her talking with me, she said I hadn't dealt with the loss of my father. Now, I said to her, you're wrong. I've cried my ass off. I think you're wrong. She goes, it's not just about that. Again, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Because believe me, I'm the guy to this day. I could be taking a shower, and if I go down memory lane about either one of my parents, I could be crying in the shower. I think it's okay. Yeah. I don't think there's a thing wrong with that.
Nope,
I think
not
it's,
at all.
wow, I love them so much. It's funny. The other day, I said to my sister, we were texting back and forth. She goes, oh, can I give you a call? I said, I'm wrapping up this book that I'm doing. And I said, I'm on the chapter about Mom dying. I said, I'm sitting in the backyard writing and crying. And she goes, Mom deserves those tears. And she's right. She did deserve those tears. But so anyway, so I'm a crier in general. Like I'm terrible with goodbyes. I'm just one of those guys. So I thought she was absolutely wrong because, there were tears. There was, wow. But then when you start really digging in deep, yes, you dealt with it. You cried, but did you deal with what maybe wasn't said? What maybe expectations weren't met on either side? Did we ever have closure on this or on that?
Yeah.
And there were things we did not. And there were regrets I had that I didn't know I had until we started talking it out. And so she said, I think that's where a lot of this is coming from. And so then she hooked me up with this doctor, the psychiatrist, who put me on Zoloft. But what's, and to this day, I think it's still the case, these antidepressants, they don't kick in. It's not like I take an antibiotic and I start healing like this.
Yeah.
These damn things, I think he said 3 to 4 weeks. I'm like, son, and again,
I got to get through tomorrow.
And again, never planning suicide. Never, ever did I think, here's what I have to do to get, but every day, I can't live like this. I can't live, this can't continue.
Well, if I can dig into that feeling,
feel
because
free.
that's when you feel like you can't live anymore like this, I think, even if you don't have a plan.
It's the ideology, I would imagine.
It's a suicidal ideology. Yes,
Yeah.
I've had it a lot, and it's scary.
Scary.
And you're in that hole, and I'm curious, did you think it was never going to end?
Yeah, oh, God, yes. So, yes, because I thought it was going to be over in a couple of days. I thought I had some weird little thing that happened and I'm going to be fine. And as the months are going on and I'm not fine, wow, I am screwed. And now the panic attacks are coming in and I'm having them hit in front of people. But I don't want people to know that this is what's happening. Though, the one thing I did learn from my first trip to the ER, it is a panic attack.
Yeah.
It is not a heart attack. You will get through it. You just have to get through it. And so that did help me. But I remember being in a waiting room for an audition once thinking, I can't stay here. I'm literally starting to flop sweat. And this was all it just seemed like everything was piling on. And then you take your brain to the worst case scenario. I'm in LA. I'm finally here. Things are happening. And now it's all crashing. Because remember, I booked this gig. Now I got to go to Vancouver for 5 weeks and shoot this film. I'm dealing with depression and panic attacks and fear. I'm the newbie. The network didn't want you. Didn't even want. I mean, ultimately they ended up wanting me, but they didn't want me. Who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
We got Leslie Nielsen and Swoozie Kurtz. Jim O'Hare, what are we doing? Go get whatever
Yeah.
B lister they can get. So I felt a lot of pressure about that. And I want to do a good job. And so I was having all sorts of panic attacks in Vancouver. Told none of the other actors. I didn't want anyone to be involved in this. I remember Robert Wisden, I believe was his name, was an incredible Canadian actor. And because we had hit it off from the very beginning. We're laughing. We'd be in each other's trailers at lunch and laughing. And I remember having a full conversation with him, and I don't think he knew, and me thinking, I need to jump out of my skin right now. He has to leave here. He has to leave right now. But I didn't make him leave. I got through it. But this went on for a long time.
Yeah.
Months and months and months. And as far as panic attacks go, what helped me, and this is going to sound silly, there's a radio station in LA called KFI, listening to it one night driving home from somewhere, and there was a therapist on talking about panic attacks. And this has helped me ever since. She just said, you just tell yourself, you know what this is. You know that it isn't harmful. And you just you breathe.
Yep.
And you talk to yourself. And I will tell you, that was a game changer for me. I wish my therapist had said that. She never said anything like that. So I will say, after 3 to 4 weeks, the Zoloft definitely started helping. It definitely took the edge.
Yeah.
Things weren't so hard. They were softer, but it was still there. It was still there. And again, every day waking up, every day, maybe today's better. And then once the Zoloft kicked in, oh, today might be better.
Yeah.
And then as time went on, today is better. Wow, today's better. And then as more time went on, I'd say, this wasn't I'm going to say 2 years.
Of
2 years.
this.
Never as intense as it was the first 6 months.
Yeah.
It was all getting better after that. But I would say 2 years before I could go, I'm back.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm back, baby. I'm back. Let's go to the movies. Let's go eat. Let's do all the stuff.
Yeah.
Not that I wasn't already doing some of that, but where I
Right.
was 100% back.